The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digital.
Hi, welcome to the Political Dice.
Eby'Amefuga.
It's controversial,
Purely political,
well researched,
accurate and global.
Oyagala bya parliament oba council.
Yes, State House oba ghetto.
Ani ayuga ku ground.
Ani gwe babuze.
Okimanyi nga Dr. Kiza Besigye aleese amaanyi.
Olwofadda bafutoli abateeseemu obuvaazi.
Oba yo DP eri kuki?
Olwojema.
Bano ba MKCG bo baddawa.
Abo bafuna CDF baamala tebabanja. Olwo baba ate bange bali kuki?
Abo bo akina kulabisa simanyanga posturing tebabiri mbali mu structure building. Naye ate ono ye.
Ani oyo oba?
Yali kuki?
Oyo tumuleketa gamba mpanyiga mawu.
Ebe ndabena birindira nokuda Political Dice ku the Alternative Dig Talk nange teditenja ewamune
Farida bikobere
buli wa Sunday
sawa 2.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Wabiri kwa kaita kedakiika 26 nyongera okulamusako wona wosinzidde okubanga otulaba program ya Mighty Drive nze omumbeja luwe Dedidian era nga ntudde ne Munnamateeka Kato tumsiime agenda kubanga atulamusako maaso awo twongere okutunuulira ensonga nga bwe zitambula ye atubuulire ameefuga gano ag'emyaka 62 kiki kyajjamu oba oli awo gategeeza ki eri abavubuka twongere okutunuulira ku kwogera kw'omukulembeze w'eggwanga ku mukolo guno ogwabadde ate ebusiya twongere n'okutunuulira n'ebigenda maaso mu ggwanga naye nga ensonga y'okukola ennongoosereza mu ssemateeka bw'otunuulira parliament emirimu engeri gye giddukanyizibwamu ebbago lino lyaleetebwa Honorable Richard Lumu. Ensonga y'okubanga bakola ennongoosereza mu mateeka g'ebyokulonda munnange Minister wa Justice and Constitutional Affairs omukulu Robert Mao yagenda maaso n'okubanga ayanja ezize omuli okukozesa enkola eya digito ate nno munnange okulaba nti okulonda okwo kutambula bulungi nnyo. Ensonga ya funding bingi nnyo obaolyawo byeyakoonako ne Commissioner wa Parliament Honorable Mathias Mpuuga naye yavaayo naye n'aleeta obaolyawo electoral reforms zayagala zibe nga ate ziteekebwa mu nkola mu kulonda kuno kwe tuli mu kubanga twetegekera awo tugenda okubanga tutambulira teesa naffe ku The Alternative Uganda ne Digital TV ku Facebook so nga ate YouTube channel yaffe eri The Alternative Uganda. Kanyanirize Munnamateeka ate asooka alamuse ku batulaba weewaawo naye atubulire ebijaguzo by'Amefuga bino byamusanze wakanso.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lillian and the viewers. I'm glad to be part of this show today.
Okay. Kulikayo mu independence.
Independence yawedde.
Wabadde Busia?
Anedda. I think angenda kukola ekibusi.
Naye twadde mu bijaguzo. Ffe twadde tulina okuweereza eggwanga wano olunaku lw'eggulo. Naye kati mwe twadde tubaleese olunaku mu lunyumirwe.
Ffe twadde tuweereza eggwanga yonna gye twabadde.
Okay.
Naye ebyagenze mu maaso eyo Busia nabigoberedde.
Okay.
Era nenzijjamu ebimu yadde sikkaanya nabyo ebisinga bati. Bwetyo bwetambula.
Uganda kati tuli bakulu tulina emyaka 62 okutandikibwa gye tukuza ssaawa eno.
Yes.
What do you make of the 62 years of Uganda's independence?
I think 62 years would have been a good number in numbers.
Yes.
Kubanga bw'oba ogaba grades oba divisions kati awo at least eba nga C awo okoze bulungi.
Oba credit. Credit for.
Yeah, awo oba si wabi ogenderawo.
Okay.
But is what we are seeing in this country, does it actually reflect the 62 years that we have spent being independent? Are we actually independent? Or we are just having the picture of independence, but the reality shows different things? Kati awo tulina okutekawo okwetegereza ennyo.
I'm hearing this statement of are we independent? Are we independent?
Are we independent? Because independence itself twali twejja ku
bafuzi b'amatwale
colonialists.
Yes.
But I believe that even when we were successful and got our independence in court, we actually got the colonialists that are the same to us, that are black in color, that are even more worse than even the colonialists that we had then, the British. That's a fact. Look at our democracy in this country itself. Does it really bring out the picture of democratic people, of independent Uganda, and 62 years old since we got that independence? Does it bring it the whole idea?
Twina opposition.
But the democracy that we are talking about is a democracy where one side benefits and enjoys all the privileges to go and traverse the country and campaign, move everywhere they want and do whatever they want in that line to be able to obtain office in the next election term. You get? And where some other political parties and opposition party players, politicians, are denied access even to their hometowns to make campaigns or to make rallies and the rest, so they can be able to spread the message. Does it really show the 62 years of independence that we have spent as a country? The level of social services that we have in this country. Look at our health system. The hospitals and majorly the referral hospitals that were built then are the same that we are still using. Even by the Obote regime and the rest. Those are the ones. What we are seeing now is only renovation and paintings. But when you enter into that hospital, call it a referral hospital, you'll find patients sleeping down on a cement that is all filled with potholes.
Yeah.
Does it really bring out the idea of independence at 62? Are you happy that the way you are seeing our transport, our infrastructure system in this country, in Kampala itself, the city, capital city of this country, at 62, does it bring out the independence of this country? If you look at the brutality, if you look at the violation and abuse of human rights in this country, does it really bring out the picture of independence at 62?
naye ate ebimu bagamba ebiriwo kati bye mutunuuliza kati nti ne mu regimes ezaayita era byaliwo ku mulembe gwa Idi Amin Dada, Obote, former president, these are former presidents of Uganda. So His Excellency the late kati Obote ne Idi Amin Dada bagambira the same things used to happen.
You see, that's what they say. That's what they say. But when President Museveni and the NRA took power in 86, President Museveni, then a young man and a very strong, brilliant man, at that age, while swearing in as a new president of the country, he said, what we are seeing is not a mere change of guards, but a fundamental change.
Yes.
It means that whatever change he was bringing in this country, in his new leadership, in 86, was a leadership, was a change that we had never seen in this country. And that's the change that would actually not repeat what mistakes had been done by the previous regimes and the government. You understand me?
Okay.
For the first maybe 5-6 years, well, you can say he tried. It wasn't a fundamental change. Okay? But what happened thereafter? In fact, in the Sarah of but at least I have had an opportunity to read about these regimes, to follow up the documentaries and the rest that are made. At least in Soboku, Okugera government, Gesingako, Navy Save, Yadesariwo. But even the people that were there, my grandmother normally tells me that the problems this regime found in the people were the problems that maybe most of them did not use to have sleep. And what caused that was the war that was happening. And the war that was brought by the NRA.
But our statement, twafuna kutulo.
That's what they only say. Agamba kati tufuna otulo, at least that one. But you see, the problems in 86 and the years below are not the same problems in 2024. My problem now is not lacking sleep, no. Is it your problem? Nobody to just to do some other things, because it really shows that our problems now are not problems of we can at least afford the sleep. No, but will you even sleep hungry? Your children, your siblings, your parents are just rotting in hospitals without even a single paracetamol, Panadol just. Government of no trustworthy. Does it really bring out the whole idea? No.
Oseza kifaananyi weewaawo katika tugende ku nsonga y'ebyenfuna. Yesterday omukulembeze w'eggwanga bwe yabadde ayogera yategeezezza we bajjira mu buyinza mu 1986 basanga oboolyawo ezaali cash crops zaggwawo. I think it was yagamba, is it cotton and
coffee, cotton and tobacco.
Yes. Naye n'agamba nti ebyo yasanga nabyo birimpinga okubanga biggweerayo completely. N'agamba nti they've revived the economy of the country from 1986 okutuuka we tuli ssaawa zino. Nti bye twalinga tumanyi nga cash crops omwali cotton, coffee, tobacco, tea, weewaawo kakati nabyo ne bye twali tumanyi nga food crops bigenze bikyukamu. Nti ezalinga food crops kati nazo ssaawa zino zirenga cash crops. Natusiigira n'ekifaananyi ky'amata ssaawa zino okuba nti gegamu ku gwe tu exportinga mu mawanga amalala oba oliawo ne tujjamu ne ssente. Aren't we Ugandans too selfish to appreciate ebimu ku ebyo ebituukiddwako mu myaka 62?
I'm going to ask you this before I can respond. Have you seen cotton as an individual? You as Lilian? Omanyi bwefaanana?
Mumanyi wano nga muguze. Omusimbe simanyi bwafaanana oba oliawo.
So surely, if at your age Lilian, and as a journalist has not seen even a plantation of cotton, do we still have cotton in this country?
Northern Uganda tebali mu kusimba cotton.
Naye togirabangako. Was it specifically done by Northern Uganda?
No.
Now, that one is out now. Tobacco. I don't know if you have seen tobacco grow.
I've seen it.
At
That
least-
one I've seen it.
And you see, one of the biggest cash crops that we had as a country was tobacco, coffee, and cotton. Now the only thing that
We had
is
the
remaining.
3 C's and
Yes.
then the 3 T's.
Yes. Even tea itself. Do you know how much now a kilo of tea leaves the costs in those areas that are still growing tea? They say that it is even at 200. I don't know if it is even at that price at the time. But to say, with the growing population that we have in this country, with the development in technology,
Yes.
all these other new developments that have come in, the problem and the speech of the president should actually reflect and match the standards that we are into now. Ebiseera ebyo bali bakozesa betwita twabisomanga nga tubiyita rudimentary tools. Bawesa enkumbi n'obuntu obutonotono. But they would make a production that would satisfy a country and grow its economy. Now, we have the development in technology, we have irrigation, now it is up there. We have the use of tractors and other new technology and machines.
Yes.
Should we still be crying that the problems that when this government took power, at least it has increased the production? Does it still match the standards and the developments that we have achieved as a country or as the world? No. That's the answer. It is no. Nti, we would have used this population that is too much growing.
Yes.
We would have used this technology that is available and at leisure to also increase the production in all these things that we are talking about. You get? We wouldn't be crying that the economy of this country will only rely on getting loans and maybe the donations that we get from these other countries that have made it in life.
Yes.
If you read the history, it is said that all these Arab countries in Middle East were being helped by Idi Amin, the president then. But now, it's us now even importing, exporting people, our young girls and boys, to go there and now to start cleaning and doing all these funny works that they're doing there. A country that we once helped is now the one helping us to carry the burden of unemployment that we're facing as a country. Abasinga betwara bakadamu. They go just there to do all those kind of things. Instead, at least the other country would have been coming back to us and say, at least mtuongele huko biyambi. Kuba mwaba tuyamba n'okutuka wano wetuli.
President yatugambye nti mu tourism webajira mu 1986 mwavanga mu 17 million US dollars. Wetwogerera muvaamu 1.5 billion US dollars. That is the tourism sector. Nagamba amajani wetwalimiranga ebiseera biri zayavangamu million 3 eza bags, but right now tujamu 60 million bags. Natulaga cotton production naye egenda ekula from 2 million bags.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
So, yeah, you want to say that these numbers omukulembeze zatuwa sintuufu?
But you see, when you look at the population in 86,
yes,
okay, the population in those years cannot be the same population that we have now. We have about 40 millions. You get 40 million people, including that even the local people here in the country.
Yes,
also are part of the tourists that we are talking about. Unlike those days, at least these days, no muna Uganda afuna makadde n'agamba kangendeko mu Queen Elizabeth, kangendeko Emakishon Falls, kangendeko Ebwindi. That's all money that is got from tourism sector. But even when we are earning that much from tourism, from cotton and coffee and the rest,
yes,
how much money do we have or do we add onto our budget as a country? Buli mwaka obeera wano ng'owulira budget reading. Do you know how much we borrow? Do you know how much they demand you as a citizen of this country because of the borrowing?
so tuli mu trillion
Okitegeera? So does it really match? Yes, we applaud him, we give him a round of applause that
yes,
at least weyabisanga abyongeddeko. But do they match the standards? For the 30 how many years that he has spent in power, should he still be talking about those, I don't know how many bags of coffee that we are producing as a country? How much we earn from tourism? Surely. when we still have to borrow more than 50% to finance our budgets as a country. Surely, whatever, when he talks in figures, most of the people don't understand. You get?
Okay.
And you need to come to reality and understand what's on ground. Yes, numbers otuzulidde ozogedde nga wozogedde, but ku reality tuyina watch. Does it match the figures you're always talking about as the president of this country? It doesn't. It doesn't. Where even we cannot afford to fund and finance at least 70% of our budget per year. We have to borrow, we have to do all those kind of things so that we can be able to run our budget.
Council, government ataddewo programs oboolyawo ziyambako abantu okwejja mu bwavu. We will talk of youth livelihood program, emyoga, bonna bagaggawali, all those zibadde programs zakuyambako bannayuganda kwejja mu bwavu. But then we are still crying era nga tukaabira ensonga y'obwavu. Weewaawo Dr. Kanokiza Besigye yagambye obwavu kati businga nnyo Karamojja. Karamojja kati n'olyokoza Kacholi, then West Nile n'ebitundu ebirala weewaawo nga webigoberera. When do we look at citizens oboolyawo mu playing a role okulaba nti tukulaakulanya eggwanga naffe okwejja mu bwavu?
Yes, it is true that the number of programs nyingi. Nange kenyini zenzize ndaba ng'omuntu. There are so many programs. When you look at the idea of these programs, ebirubirwa oba ebigendererwa bya programs zino ez'enjawulo birungi nnyo, and they would actually work hard to move us from what we are even to the middle income status country, like the president.
Middle income status
like the president wanted to promote us just prematurely. But really, kutandika ku youth livelihood program, genda ku myoga, n'abagaggawale, parish development model n'endala nyingi. How many of those have you benefited from? Are you not a citizen of this country?
But even the people that were
don't you qualify?
Don't
you qualify? But you see, I had an opportunity to also follow the youth livelihood program. I remember beneficiaries. They were the councillors of the area. They were the old people. They couldn't even they wouldn't even fit in that level. You get? But they were the beneficiaries of the youth livelihood programs. Programs how many people can you stand here and say at least I know Teddy benefited from that program? At least I know Kato benefited. At least I know Arnold or Jeremiah. How many people do you know that are close to you? That are close to you. Bafuna chenkanachi, chaba yamba chitia. Did it match?
Katwalu enkola ya grow. Sawa zino. Era ya kuyamba bakyala still kwejja mu bwavu. Gana jayo looni. Bajiwe ebbanga lya myaka ng'ebiri. N'olyoko wolo abantu sente zino zizaayo.
Ogenda n'ojjayo looni siganye. Ne bagikuwa.
Yes.
Ekigendererwa kyo kya kutandikawo akaduuka.
Kwongera mu business abagala okwongeramu n'ebirala.
Oba ogende mu agriculture otandikewo okulima ebintu ebyenjawulo. But bw'omala birima, do you even get the markets for those birime by'omaze okukungula? Are there available markets for such kind of produce at the end of it all? Secondly, will you be able to actually look at your gardens themselves, including the changes in the seasons? You will need irrigation. Do you have the capacity to irrigate that garden until you reach the time of harvest? At least we are talking about realities. Two, Bikungula, do you have the access roads that can actually enable you to transport these things or allow people, the traders, to come from wherever they are from Kampala to your home area in Kabaramaido or in Kabong to come and buy this produce so that they can be able to transport it to Kampala? Looking at the infrastructure itself. That's why you see that omulimi atandikirwako yokucharo are the most people that are crying because again omuntu namusanga because of the bad roads and the transport system that we have. Etooke lyandibadde ly'emitwalo 5 e Kampala omusuubuzi bali mugulako 15. You get? Because they will add the cost of transportation, the nights they will spend in from Ntungamo maybe to Kampala on that bad road, including n'emisoro egy'enjawulo gye babateekako. osange nti that's why omuntu agula ettooke lya 15 ewaffe entungamu n'alireeta e Kampala nga lya 5,000. You get? Because of the challenges that we face. Now who is benefiting? Is it the farmer? Gwawa sente omujje mu bwavu, or it is this one, this trader, the capitalist that has the capacity at least to go to Ntungama and buy all this kind of produce to be able to bring it near to the people in their markets. So esente zino baziba wadde abantu.
Yes.
Abamu abazifunyeeko. But even when we give out this money, do we come out to make follow-ups? Tujjayo tudde eno mu byalo be twawa ssente ne tubalondola ne tugamba liya ntwamuwa ssente agule ente 10 yazigula.
Jozi baali basiba abantu era be baawa ssente ne bazirya.
You have just started to run this, that even when you provide all these resources available to the people, you have to follow up and be able to understand, was it put in the right youth? Wabawa ssente kuzikozesa bakola era bakola negaana kuva we twatandikira ezo programu zonna ekigendererwa kyazo kyakujja abantu mu bwavu bavuddemu. Where is the problem? Do we still need to have and inject all this money in the people? I think we need to change the tactic and also the plan so that ebibaddewo bwe biba tebiina kye bikoze mu kukyusa n'okujja abantu mu bwavu. Lwaki tuddayo ne tukozesa enkozesa zezimu nga tusuubira results ez'enjawulo? At least we need to change the tactics and the agenda maybe, because the previous ones have not benefited, have not fulfilled, or have not met the standards that we intend to achieve at the end of it all. Why do we still have to use the same tactics and programs so that we can keep achieving the same results? You get?
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's what should be done in the
Still in the president's speech yakonye ku kyokuba nti tusenvudde naye nga tutambulira mu mitendera. Tufeeze yasooka mwalimu mineral recovery, okuzuula amafuta ne then n'ebyobugagga ebirala oba oliawo gold n'ebirala. Ensonga ey'okubiri feeze ey'okubiri yali expanding money economy. Feeze eyokusatu mwalimu diversifying the economy. Feeze eyokuna yali adding value to the raw materials. Yes, weewaawo naaga ebimu ku biteereddwamu omutindo mulimu amata, textiles, cement, maize. Then feeze eyokutaano gyagamba nti kati gye tuliko ye ya weewaawo feeze eyokutaano eyitibwa entering knowledge economy. Saawa zino tuli mu manufacturing, tuli mu kukola bus ezaffe, tuli mu pharmaceuticals, waliwo amadagala agakolebwa wano n'ebirala. According to you, nga bosize ekifaananyi oba oliawo ekisoose, have we moved a step mu bino byonna byonna president byakonyeeko?
Yes, somehow have moved a step, but even before this government took power, at least we had industries in this country and manufacturing was taking place. That's a fact. But now I want you to tell me how many new industries have developed and that are making manufacturing of the products that are as a result of this new regime.
Wano juzi bwe babadde was it Luwero Nakaseke bwe babadde batulaga ebimu ku ebyo factories ezitandikiddwawo nga bakola zino toilets ez'okutulako bazikolera wano mu Uganda, engoye ez'enjawulo zikolebwa wano.
Yes, Lillian, yes. That is very okay, but I am asking, how many of those new industries do you know as a person? Who owns those industries? That would be the second question. You see, I think the basic should have been that this government empowers the local citizens. Fe, abana Uganda. Fe banduwaddo. Bebanditadde ku mwanju. Like they would have prioritized us. Nti Lillian avuddewo alina akasente ke and she can get involved in establishing an industry to help in manufacturing a certain good or product. Lillian should have been given the first priority. But this government, in its knowledge, it now brings in the investors. Do you know the kind of investors that we are getting that own those, even a few industries that you're talking about? It is an investor that will come with his head. I don't know which kind of investments they are doing. aleeta mutwe gwe ettaka ne bamuwa ery'obwereere ne bamulira neero ne bagimugatirako ne bamuteekako tax holidays and exemptions for I don't know how many years aba yakakolawo emyaka ebiri ng'enaatera okuggwayo ng'akyusa ng'addayo ng'akomawo mu feezi endala. Those are the kind of investors that we are getting.
Naye tebawa bannayuganda emirimu okusinziira ku President Museveni.
Babawa emirimu babasasula mmeka? Babasasula mmeka? But you have already kirungi oli mawulire and you have always followed and watched the news or done news about how many people are not even being paid the little that they are supposed to get. Does it really bring out the whole idea? You get? Ekyokubiri okuvumbula amafuta mu bitundu by'eweemu. You see, in the 21st century, at least we shouldn't be going to petroleum products and all the rest. Eggwanga likulaakulanye, ensi eri mu kulaakulana. That we have even moved to electric cars. Now you are just clapping for yourself that you have been able to find petrol oil in your region and your area. Gagayamba, but that was back then. That was back then. We are now moving to reusable energy. You get? We are moving to reusable energy and we are not so much interested in getting the oil and petroleum products. Because all these countries have now invented new motor vehicles. You get me? They have invented new motor vehicles that no longer use even fuel or the petroleum products. But they are electric. That's how we tugenda katingensi. Naye gwe okyayagala kuleeta amafuta. Amafuta go, I don't know, they had projected to start exploiting that oil by 2025.
Yeah, that is next year.
Now
that is next year. Obuli awo tuli next tulindiridde ekinaavaayo.
Gana amafuta bagavumbula back then in I think 2010.
2006?
But the reality started in about 2010, around there. But now, these are 15 years down the road. 15 years. Tuchari yao, mweyo stagnancy. You get? Me, I have had an opportunity to be in those areas. I'm after Jigava. But what do you think is happening there? Save for the manipulation of the local citizens there, save for the violation of their human rights, save for the actually, what I should say, destabilizing the whole communities there by even sending them, evacuating them, and evicting them from their own land without compensation. There is no business that is happening there. Namafuta kugevogero inzo sanga tegari yo. Me, I have started maybe to believe that I go tegari yo, kubasinga gari yo, and that is where the president's target of raising, I don't know, a lot of money. Zagalo korako, oktorako, agenda kolengudo za Central African Republic.
Central African Republic.
Zagendo torako, agenda azimbengudo
South Sudan. Central African Republic.
I think we would have moved very far for the last 15 years. You get? But you reach there, and you look at what is happening on the ground, and you imagine which country that we are living in. All its hopes are in the petroleum and that oil.
Sawa zino gold chechimu kati ku exports zetulina ebuli
awo gold. Because if we have it as the biggest exportation and the mineral in this country, it must be known to people at least.
Enamayinge bazuddeyo nayo gold.
Nebe bajizuula kyekubuuziza kati gwe bw'ogisanga wali, can you be able to tell us this is gold here? Wali ogirabyeko?
Nali njirabye.
You get? Some of these things to be worried, but if you go to the realities and which people are actually dealing in these products, barondemu, just, and it's not everybody's business that they will.
And then we have people who have benefited from these. Zino boliawo ebyobugagga eby'omutaka aba gold tubalabyeko aba benefiting in one or the other. Simwe muli mu kuwuddisa bannayuganda.
Ate tubawuddisa tugenze mbabulire ekiriwo, and the truth actually. Me actually, I am very okay with anybody doing whatever they are doing, as long as it is legitimate, as long as it is legal, And as long as you are happy doing that business and as long as it is benefiting you, I have no problem with you. But if one person or two people have participated in a certain activity and have benefited themselves, then don't put it on everybody in this country. We are all not living and earning from the resources and the minerals that you're talking about. It's just a few clicks. If you have heard about the gold scandals that you have, that even the same gold that we are proud of is not from Uganda, but Congo. And at least it is everywhere in publications. So which kind of minerals that you are proud in?
What does this day mean to the young generation? Right now, fetu singo obungi, we hold the biggest population in the country, but era fetu singo kaba, fetu sinze sawa zino okufacinga challenges ez'enjawulo.
Now, I think in about not so many years from today, a few people will be interested in following up the Independence Day.
Actually, when we were making 50 years, I was still in high school. Naye essanyu eryaliwo.
You get? Me, I remember when I was in my primary, we used to do this commemoration of the Independence Day, the eve. And we would select amongst ourselves different ministers, different... we used to give ourselves roles.
Yes.
And the happiness that would come with independence has ceased now to make sense to me as an individual. Because does it really bring out the whole idea of being independent? Independence itself, I think it should be that we are able to do a number of things on our own. You get? But in this country where we even have to seek for donations and grants come with restrictions. They come with terms and conditions that we are giving you or borrowing you this money, but now all the projects that are connected or that would be funded by that money should be done by our people. That's what we are seeing as the Chinese. Are we really independent? The day itself has lost its meaning, first of all. Because enough Agamba that we are independent, we look at the independence that we have as a country and it is nowhere. We cannot see it. Agamba did that in just a few years to come. Independence will just be a normal day and everybody will be just on his or her own things, doing whatever they are doing and not even bothered about what independence has to mean. Okay. Because the reality is that independence should come with are not actually reflected in our minds and our lives. That's the whole reality and the honest.
Okay. Katugene mkumula mko katono nyo. When we come back, the Mighty Drive is going to continue from there. We have a lot to talk about. The electoral reforms and then the obolia ujitwali singa ensonga nene ya constitutional reforms. Jetugeno kubanga tetuzaako in the next hour eranga gwatesa osobola kuita kupejeza for the Alternative Uganda ne Digital TV. What ina VPN osobola kubanga ogenda ku YouTube channel yaffe the Alternative Uganda. You can be part of the discussion by commenting. I'll be reading your comments before we come to the end of the show. Mwesige Joram Chenjojo says greetings to Mr. Tomsime. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be right back.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
At first, we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio with the debate on the road behind the wheels. Later, we launched our magnificent studios located on Plot 1A, Sewagude Close, Lukulinanganda, Machindye, Kampala, where we bring to you our must-watch shows like The Mighty Drive, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m., Hotline, Mondays, 7 p.m. As for legal matters, Twins at Bar, Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. is Afro-Caribbean Link, where we connect Africa with the Caribbean. Voltage on Thursdays, 7 p.m., featuring a youthful panel. Interface with Dr. Kiza Besige every Friday, 12 p.m. with his call to action against injustices. Snap Talk, Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the trio. A must-watch, The Political Dice, Sundays, 8 p.m. with the duo that never stammers, and so much more. Watch us live on all our social media platforms. We are The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Teddy, have you noticed how little attention science and health issues get in the media?
Totally, Edgar, yet science information is very important.
Yeah, for sure. That's why the Health Journalists Network is here.
How can they help?
They are a group of journalists dedicated to advancing public understanding of healthcare issues through impactful reporting on health and science.
Oh, really?
Yes, they meet up every month with scientists and researchers, policymakers, and activists at the Science Media Cafes. They then relay what they discuss to the public.
Does that benefit us?
Oh yes, very much so. This helps with health and science literacy for a healthy Ugandan society.
Okay. I love getting informed about science and health issues. Health information makes all the difference between life and death. I'll look them up and engage them.
That's great. They are based all over the country.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, and they should be making real impact.
They are empowering health communities through journalism. Journalists can save lives just like doctors.